is going on, everybody? Gabriel Jones is here, giving you a drop of sun any chance I get, and I am pleased that I finally get to switch back to my regular old camera. There's a reason you're seeing me with much clearer visuals and much better audio, and that's because I am finally doing my ranking for semi-final 1 of Eurovision 2025. The running order is finally out, which means I get to give you my picks for who I think will advance to the grand final and who I think will fall short. It was quite the adventure to watch all the national finals, but now we're finally getting serious. This video will work like it has in the past. I'm gonna delve into each and every song and artist in the semi-final, their journey leading up to the big show, the entry itself, and how big of a chance I think it has at advancing to the grand final. Normally viewers just skip all the way to the end to see my actual ranking, but hopefully you'll stick along for my actual written opinions. So why don't we just cut the BS and get into our semi-final 1 ranking for Eurovision 2025. Kicking off the event is a music duo that hasn't been around in the industry for that long. The island nation of Iceland is being represented by Vibe, and they're looking to heat up the contest with their party jam, Roa. Filling the yearly role of the brother duo, the act consists of siblings Halfdan and Mattias Mattiasson, who were both born respectively in 03 and 04. Knowing they were 2000s babies makes me feel like my hair is turning whiter than their snow. The material they released before the Eurovision entry has the same lively EDM sound as their more well-known songs. It's the type of music you would listen to while dancing with friends at a nightclub. While they've had a short musical journey thus far, they aren't strangers to the Eurovision scene. They entered Song the Captain just last year with Biomid, and they failed to reach the now discontinued super final. But to be frank, I can see why they really won their ticket with Roa. The song shows the brothers going on a journey at sea to the Faroe Islands, and feeling confident they can reach their destination, no matter the obstacle. Roa is packed with plenty of enjoyable elements, including a sweet violin solo after the chorus, a booming beat, and a tasteful key change. But even with that swashbuckling charisma, could they help Iceland reach the finals again? Well, the two boys seem to acknowledge that they aren't the favorites in the contest right now, but they've had a great sense of humor about it. Their way of connecting with other contestants has already been joyful to witness. I wouldn't be quick to say they will qualify, but either way, their inclusion in the contest is welcoming. Now for our discussion, we're jumping from a fairly new act to an act who's been working for literal decades. Justyna Steczkowska has re-emerged to compete for Poland, and this time she brought her song Gaja. Growing up with a large musical family, she entered the music industry in the 90s, and shortly after her career became active is when she represented her home country in 1995 with Sama. I wasn't able to watch it live because I was too busy being a fetus, but the performance still looks great on YouTube, especially with that whistle tone. As for her other songs, they can be gentle with jazz compositions, but also surprise you with hard rock sounds. It's easy to tell she's experimented with plenty of music styles throughout her career. But now she's back 30 years later, and she's delivering the boisterous Gaia. The song ostensibly presents the singer as a goddess of earth, and how when she finds herself hurt, the world cries with her like the rivers that flow across the land. The actual performance in Poland's selection show has so much going on, like Justyna spinning, her violinist with the blue headwear, and her being raised from the stage like she's reaching heaven. It's no surprise that she crushed the all-televote score. Justyna's participation will be interesting since both returning artists who competed last year were denied the grand final. But while Hera Bjork and Natalia Barbu failed to create real hype for their entries, the fans seem to be connecting with the Polish singer this go-around. Viewers are way too familiar with her, and she's here to show the youngsters how it's done. We now move on to another artist who's been huge in European music for many years, and that man is Klemen. He'll be heading into the contest as the Slovenian competitor, with the emotional "How much time do we have left?" People on the internet would know him best for producing comedy songs mocking various world leaders such as Donald Trump, Angela Merkel, and of course Vladimir Putin. This probably explains why my Slovenia video was blocked in Russia and Belarus. Just a hunch. Klemen has even parodied past winners of the contest, including one specific impersonation he probably could have done without. Distasteful jokes aside, it's impressive how dedicated he is to embodying other performers with humor. However, the song he submitted for the big show is anything but humorous. The song he performed at EMA tells the story of how his wife was diagnosed with cancer, and both of them were worried about whether she would make it. The series of events he describes as something out of a movie, with their child being oblivious to the catastrophe they've been hit with, and how the doctor was wary about her chances of survival. But she ultimately stayed alive. It's ironic how Klemen has been known all his career as a parody comedian, yet the song he constructed focuses on a scary point in his life. He also makes it interesting visually, with his crew flipping him upside down while he sings his lyrics. As he pelts his notes on the final chorus, you could tell it was game over for the other contestants. While some people call it manipulative, I still find it important, and it will probably connect with people who've dealt with similar life-altering problems. Even though I don't see this having a strong qualifying chance, I'm sure Klemen will present it brilliantly. It's only fitting that we follow Klemen's heavy entry with something that's just plain silly. That is in the form of Estonia's representative Tommy Cash in his song Espresso Macchiato. Following a common journey rappers take to success, he began posting his songs on SoundCloud. From there, he built his stature in Estonia by performing at music festivals and releasing singles each year throughout the 2010s. Going through his earlier discography, his music presents itself as authentic hip-hop, complete with a slick drumline and tight flow. He displays the level of pride and macho-ness you would expect from other rappers. My introduction to Tommy Cash was actually his feature on the song Turn It Up by Little Big and Oliver Tree. I still love the music video where they keep bouncing like toddlers excited for ice cream. Plenty of international listeners will also know him for being a frequent collaborator for Charli XCX. Going into the 2025 season, Tommy Cash was easily one of the better known artists, but people were still not prepared for Espresso Macchiato. The song hears him singing in Italian, amplifying his love for drinking coffee. It portrays him as a businessman struggling to get through his day with his hard work, and the Espresso Macchiato serves as the fuel to keep him moving throughout the week. The stage performance also had quite the presentation, with Tommy Cash busting some nutty moves along with his bodyguards, all while graphics of coffee beans are displayed behind them. Some have argued that the entry is offensive to Italian culture, but plenty of citizens have said they love it, so perhaps the controversy is a nothing burger. Regardless of your feelings, there's no denying that Tommy Cash will be raising some voices and some eyebrows in Basel with a locked-in qualification. Now, it's time for a big one. We have the band competing for Ukraine, and they are called Ziferblat. Their song is titled Bird of Prey, a soaring rock ballad expressing the feelings of love and hope. Ziferblat formed in 2015 with brothers Daniel and Valentin Lachinsky, along with Vadir Kodakov. I made sure to watch their performance on the X Factor, where they gave the same uplifting compositions they've been known for, and they even enhanced it with a saxophone solo. Take that, Duke Silver. Even though I don't speak Ukrainian, I can tell from just listening to their earlier songs that they have some emotional resonance to them. They have this calming aura to them that just makes you want to relax in your bed and take a breather. That depth was something I found in their previous attempt at Vidbeer with Place I Call Home. You can tell it hit deep for many Ukrainians when they sang about feeling darkness in their world and wanting to reach home again. Something in me knew they would eventually score the ticket for the contest, considering they finished right behind Jerry Hale and Alyona last year. They already built the hype for themselves, and the band finally struck gold with Bird of Prey, a beautiful song about Daniel releasing a metaphorical bird into the world and asking it to share love with anyone it can. He also suggests it can return home someday and reunite with the protagonist. While times may be grim, it's never wrong to share your kindness with others. Ukraine has showcased raw emotions in their entries, like agony and willpower, and this time, Bird of Prey expresses optimism. That's the kind of feeling that will keep their perfect streak going. I've noticed the running order keeps flip-flopping between tragic and silly entries, and this pattern is persisting with our Swedish artist. This act is a band called Kai, and they've sent Bara Bastu to the big show. The three members of the group are Kevin Holmstrom, Alex Amen, and Jacob Norgard. Described as a comedy act, they formed in 2009 in Vora and proceeded to release music starting in 2012. While they were never chart toppers, they've stayed on their grind and have been recognized for their contributions to Finnish music. Their previous songs contain a charming sense of humor that can even make you widen your eyes at certain points. My personal favorite is Furman's Man, where the singer brags about having a successful career in a business, but then crashes out when they take an 8-month sick leave. Great. These comedic chops are what made them serious contenders for their national selection. In March, they made jaws drop all across the continent when they defeated Måns Zelmerlow's Revolution in Melody Festivalen. It was described as a major upset, and seen as a change of pace for the country, since they haven't chosen a song written in Swedish for quite some time. Opening with a catchy accordion, the three men proceed to sing about hitting up the sauna and sweating all their stress away. The song is constructed as upbeat dance pop, portraying how excited the guys are to relax. If that's not amusing enough, the stage performance has them all dance on the sauna benches, surrounded by forest trees, and caps off with rainbow lighting reminiscent of cha-cha-cha. Given how many people relate to the feeling of relieving stress, it's no surprise Kai has been a highly anticipated act. Up next is a band that I had no idea would make it into the contest. We now have NAPA, who are representing Portugal with their calming song Deslocado. The group formed in 2013 and were originally known as Men on the Couch, a name I'm sure JD Vance would be a huge fan of. They were able to release their first studio album in 2019 after a successful crowdfunding campaign. It wasn't until 2023 that they officially renamed themselves as NAPA. When I went through some of their older songs, I was delighted by how soft and slick they are. It captures the alternative rock sound that was dominant in American music in the 2000s. Their songs focus on subjects like social media termites, accepting death, and feeling disillusioned with your own path. Their music can showcase some real depth, and it's the same quality of writing you will find in their Festival de Canco entry, Deslocado. The song may sound relaxing at first glance with its delicate piano, slow tempo, and wondrous guitar solo, but it actually contains a somber topic some young people can relate to. The singer, João Guilherme Gomes, plays the role of a young adult who is living abroad in a big city, but is longing to return home to his mother, and soon makes the journey where he'll be reunited with his family once more. The soft tone could resemble how relieved the protagonist is that he no longer has to feel homesick, for he is making his way back to the island he came from. Out of all the entries submitted to the contest, this feels like the one that has grown on me the most, and I will be in favor of NAPA advancing. It's time to focus on the artist who will be carrying the flag for Norway, and that will be Kyle Alessandro with his dance pop jam, Lighter. The boy was born in 2006 in Levanger and raised in Stavanger. Man, and I thought Vibe made me feel old. He began appearing on television when he was just 10 years old, and started releasing music at a young age as well. It's very jumpy and lighthearted, which you would expect from a preteen boy. You could tell he really eased into his musical career as he kept releasing material. I don't watch much of America's Got Talent, but I'm sure earning a golden buzzer means you have something special to offer. Kyle had a previous attempt at appearing in the big show when he performed in a boy band called Umami Tsunami and sang Geronimo. I actually remembered he was a part of that group the year Alessandra had her win. Looks like Kyle came back strong in 2025 when he unleashed the song Lighter. In a year where the Melodic Grand Prix lineup was severely underwhelming, this entry was quite literally a bright spot. I foolishly thought it was about Kyle going through a breakup, but it was actually inspired by his mother receiving a cancer diagnosis, and it's him finding a way to fight against the obstacles. Seeing multiple songs about loved ones surviving illnesses really feels like a two-nickel scenario, if you know what I mean. If you ask me, Norway made the right choice by submitting Kyle Alessandro, because he's their best shot at staying in the finals. Our next artist is one who is also high on many people's rankings, and he is Red Sebastian. He'll be showing up for Belgium with the club anthem Strobe. Born in Ostend as Seppe Harriman, Red Sebastian would compete in various talent competitions on TV, much like Kyle Alessandro. Why he hasn't sung a duet with Christina Aguilera by now is beyond me. What really makes him fascinating is that he was taught singing by a previous Belgian competitor, Gustav. Even when he's not physically at the contest, that man still knows how to wear his giant hat. Red Sebastian really began putting out his own music at the start of the 2020s, carving out his own persona with sensual vocals, mystifying sounds, and lyrics about heartbreak. All this really prepared him for the national selection. The competition going into Belgium's Eurosong was pretty stiff, and it was difficult to find a song that didn't have unique qualities. Even with the stacked lineup, though, there was plenty of confidence that Red Sebastian would win. Strobe Lights is composed with a mysterious atmosphere where our singer is taken on a journey, almost like he's Alice in Wonderland. The beat is pulsing and sets you right in the action where the clubbers are dancing their hearts out. What really gets you hooked is the build-up to the final line on the chorus, where he says that he wants to stay in this environment, and he sings with the highest pitch imaginable. Red Sebastian even sells the performance with the editing, using fast-paced cuts between his close-up and the zoomed-out shots to hypnotize you. I knew this song would be a strong contender immediately, and after Musti shockingly missed the grand final last year, Red Sebastian might get a green light. Performing 10th in the running order is another band trio who are going to compete for Azerbaijan. They go by Mamagama, and their song is called Run With You. Formed in 2021, the group consists of Asaf Mishiev, Hassan Haidar, and Arif Imanov, who all originated from Baku and gained popularity by performing at festivals. It was fascinating to see their entrance into the contests since they were the first band to get announced. With that said, I didn't have very high hopes for what their song would sound like given Azerbaijan's more recent entries. And I'm afraid to say my concerns were correct. Now, I do enjoy the saz that plays after each chorus, and the tempo is rather funky. However, the substance below the surface is quite hollow. Run With You is nothing more than a bland indie rock song about being attracted to a sexy woman and wanting to get together with her. The song has no hook to latch onto, and the lead singer's vocals don't make it any catchier. It's a shame because the country blew me away with Fade to Black, and then floundered in the contest ever since. I don't want to trash Mamagama too much because I've listened to some of their previous songs, and they do have some fascinating indie pop rock sounds. It's almost like Imagine Dragons or Glass Animals if it had more of an Azerbaijani influence. They just have a limp song going into Eurovision, and that's become par for the course for Azerbaijan. Once again, they're looking at a dud. If you want to talk about artists who are really well recognized, just look at San Marino's competitor Gabry Ponte, who's bringing the EDM bop Tutta. Known as a legendary DJ all throughout Europe, the Turin-based producer has been making music since the early 90s. He initially banded together with singers Jeffrey J and Maurizio Labina, who all formed a little group called Eiffel 65. They had their big break in 1999 when they released a tiny novelty song called Blue Dabba Dee. Nightclubs were never the same, nor were animated space adventures. Eiffel 65 would release a couple more records before Gabry branched off into a solo career, and this is when he put out his own Italio dance jams. Just listening to a small portion of his catalog shows he's mastered the art of DJing. La Danza del Sturge is especially unique, feeling like a quintessential EDM Halloween song before Ghosts and Stuff came along. He's bringing the old school back with Tutta l'Italia, which fascinatingly was used as the theme for San Remo Music Festival. Gabry eventually decided he wanted to show it off at the San Marino Song Contest. The lyrics read as a straightforward national pride anthem for Italy, where the vocalist revels in the culture by eating spaghetti, watching football, and wearing gold necklaces. Sadly, the singer looks to remain anonymous, so we'll just call him the Masked Stranger. It'll probably help San Marino to have an established veteran represent them, since they've been lagging in the big show lately. In the month of May, Gabry Ponte won't just be in blue, he'll be in light blue. Our next Eurovision act started off not very notable, but then skyrocketed in popularity as the season progressed. They are Albanian duo Shkodra Elektronike, and they are performing the song Zjerm. Consisting of Cole Laka and Beatrice Giergi, the two members were immigrants living in Italy, and eventually formed in 2019 in Shkodra. They were able to make a name for themselves by playing at music festivals. They don't have a huge discography, but what they've offered has been nothing short of extravagant. Their songs have a real experimental sound to them, but also feel like they can be presented at a theater with hundreds of elegant spectators. The real question going into Festivali Ikangas was whether their sound would click with the entire nation. Well, considering they were facing off against Elvana Giada, who's apparently Albania's most famous pop singer, and defeated her by single digits, that should serve as your answer. But I can't stress enough how immaculate Zjerm is. Beatrice starts by setting a scene of a world so pure and loving, where no ambulances, soldiers, or pollution exists, and the people dance while their hearts shine. But then Cole barges in on the second verse, speaking closely into the mic, how the celebrations were halted with fire, destroying the people with its fury. The song may seem like a by-the-numbers call for world peace, but its presentation elevates it to new heights, with its clapping effects, dominant bass, and sweeping orchestral melodies, painting a picture of what could be. Albania is seriously looking at a huge turnaround from last year, where Beza's Titan flopped in the semi-finals. Shkodra Elektronike are building so much momentum, they have a chance at earning the country their first ever win, and I would totally enjoy witnessing that. It's time for a country that's looking to get over all sorts of bad luck. The Netherlands. Sticking to their internal selection, they went with the singer Claude, who will be performing the song C'est la vie. Claude was actually born in the nation of Congo and immigrated to the Netherlands when he was 9 years old. After a run on The Voice Kids, he got signed to a record label and released his #1 single, La Dada, Mon Dernier Mont, in 2022. It's not hard to see why this was a massive hit with Dutch audiences. The beat is catchy enough to dance to, and it's about moving on without your ex weighing on you. Personally, I'm more of a Layla fan, but to each their own. It's this exact grooviness that would become very useful in his entry, C'est la vie. After careful examination of the lyrics, it appears to show Claude looking back on wise words that his mother told him when he was younger. The melody he adopts is to accept the perks and pitfalls of life, and no matter how ludicrous it is, you will end up someplace beautiful. The songwriting doesn't show that much depth, but I enjoy how elegantly Claude presents the tune. Going into the music video, I didn't know he would be a sick dancer as well. That I can see coming in handy on stage. At this moment, fans seem to be very sympathetic towards the Netherlands. Burning Daylight was a bust, and they had the rug pulled out from under them when Europapa got booted. Many people are probably inclined to support them after last year's fiasco. But even ignoring that, Claude has the chops to earn them a good score. We're now hopping over to Croatia to see what they're cooking, and what they have to serve is Poison Cake by Marko Bošnjak. Originating from Mostar, Bošnjak had an early start with fame when he became champion of the Serbian talent show Pink Little Stars, singing covers of artists like Jennifer Hudson and Adele. Taking a look at his talent show days, Marko really had the entire venue in his grasp. Like the judges were raising their chairs 3 seconds into each cover. Cut to 2022, he will perform in the national selection Dora, but lost to Mia Dimšik's Guilty Pleasure, which was absolutely robbed at the Turin show, by the way. Still though, Mali Zane was pretty impressive, as well as some of his other intense songs. Luckily, Marko didn't give up, and he came back 3 years later with a new recipe, that being Poison Cake. To be honest, I think the song can be really fun. His voice can be relaxed on the first verse, but then sounds incredibly angry once we get to the break. And then you have the vocals that replicate the Willy Wonka robots. The intensity of his performance is also engaging on the second verse. This is the kind of acting you need for a song about getting revenge on a scoundrel, and hiding your revenge plot in plain sight. Poison Cake is one of the campier entries we have this year, but personally, I wish Marko could have shown off some more of his vocal power. The song might still qualify, but that'll come down to the reworked presentation. Will Croatia take a steep drop after Baby Lasagna? Hopefully, Marko Bošnjak will produce a 5-star entree. Coming last in our running order is the artist who was announced first in the lineup for this year. We have Theo Evan for Cyprus, and he's giving us the song Shh. You'll be amazed to find that Theo is not an Australian performer like Andrew and Celia, but rather a Cypriot one. He comes from Nicosia and became interested in theater at a young age, strengthening his skills in singing and dancing. He traveled to the United States and graduated from the Berklee College of Music. From there, he launched a career in the arts, releasing music and even serving as an extra in Euphoria. So he got that Jacob Elordi endorsement. His songs before the Eurovision entry definitely have a showman feel to them. I sense a performer who's been truly immersed in the arts. So how does that relate to Shh? Well, I can give the entry this. It shows plenty of ambition. You can tell he's absorbed in the production, which contains neat elements like the punching beat in the first second, the flute in verse 1, and the electro keyboard. What turns me off, however, are the spoken monologues that serve as the verses. They're meant to have Theo displaying confidence, but just come across as silly. While I understand he's meant to be a mysterious figure who's showcasing grandeur after getting knocked down, I just see a guy trying to act out a role. See, I think if he titled the song Hush, I will be able to take it way more seriously. Perhaps he'll make it work once we get the full staging and choreography, but for now, I'm unsure how the song will stick the landing. Okay, so we have talked about every single song in semifinal 1, and a lot of interesting entries going on here. Like a lot of somber ones, a lot of joyous ones, and a lot of comedic ones. So we got some good stuff cooking here. And now I think it's time we get to the part that you all really arrived for. We are ranking every single song in this semifinal, and I'm predicting which ones will advance, which ones will not. So I think with all that chit-chat out of the way, I'm gonna change my screen so I can go Ant-Man-sized. There you go, I'm at the right kind of size at this point. So why don't we just quit it with the banter and get on with the ranking. So, at the bottom of my list, at number 15, I have Mamagama with Run With You. Unfortunately, it's another entrant from Azerbaijan that's just not doing anything for me. I think it's very just standard, not pulling any neat tricks. The Saz is really catchy. The Saz is catchy. They have that going for them. But yeah, nothing exciting me here. I'm sorry, guys, but it's another bottom pick for me. At number 14, I have Roa by Vibe, and they are for Iceland. I really do like the energy that these boys possess. They're really friendly. I love the video content they put out on YouTube and TikTok. I would absolutely love having a chat with them. But unfortunately, I don't know if Roa is doing a lot for me. Maybe they'll get by simply by just being so charming with the other contestants. But yeah, for now, I'm gonna have to put them this low on my list. Number 13 is Marko Bošnjak with Poison Cake. The Croatian representative is giving us a really campy entry for this one. I really liked the stage presentation when he performed this at Dora. I think that he possibly could pull off a qualification. We'll just have to see how it all comes together. For now, I don't think it's that interesting vocally, and I don't think that a lot of viewers or fans are connecting with it. I think it's fine. I don't have anything against it per se. But yeah, I'm just a little bit wary at the moment. So I'm hoping for something good from Marko. Let's see what happens with him. At number 12, I have Theo Evan with Shh, or as I like to call it, Hush, for Cyprus. Yeah, this one, he's, like I said, he's really ambitious with this song. Has a lot of ideas going for him. I think much like Marko, this is going to come down a lot to how it's shown on the big stage. For now, I don't think it's really doing anything that, for me, that much. But yeah, like, I think, like, he could probably do, like, some sick dance moves to this one. I'm sure this one will be really engaging once we really see it come together. So yeah, for now, I'm gonna have to put it in the non-qualification section. But yeah, I'm interested to see what he's doing with this. Number 11 for me is Klemen with How Much Time Do We Have Left, which is for Slovenia. This one definitely has emotion attached to it. And I can see this one possibly making it to the grand final. I think a lot of people are saying he's going to manipulate his way into that show. But, yeah, I still think it's very powerful. I know some people are just not gelling with it because they think it's just too sappy. But I think it's really endearing. And I'm not putting it super high on my list, but I'm showing it a little bit of good grace. So let's see if Klemen can do something with this one. And now, with those out of the way, it's time for our qualifiers for semifinal 1. Here we go. So, at number 10, I have the Polish representative, Justyna Steczkowska, with Gaja. This one has a lot of energy going with it. In a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me of Bada because of how bombastic, like, the presentation is. You know, I just find myself making that connection to her. Yeah, I think this one has, like, a lot of extravagance with it, and especially when she's risen off the stage. That's cool. So, yeah, let's see if Justyna can bring Poland back to the finals after a year away from them. Number 9 is Alessandro with Lighter. He is competing for Norway, and I love this guy's spirit, just like the vibe. He's really friendly with the other contestants. I really love how he engages with them. And Lighter, like I said, is a very important entry to him, or so I eventually discovered. Yeah, like I said, I think Norway made the right pick with Kyle. He is their best shot at staying in the finals. So yeah, hopefully he will light the fuse with them. Number 8 is Tutta l'Italia by Gabry Ponte for San Marino. I know that San Marino has been in the finals for a few years now, but I think Gabry Ponte will earn them a ticket back into it because he is an established musician, he has a lot of hits under his belt, and it looks like people are having a lot of fun with his entry. So yeah, Gabry for the win. Number 7 is Claude for the Netherlands. He is singing C'est la vie. I know Netherlands hasn't been too thrilled with how they've been performing in the contest or how they've been treated necessarily. So yeah, hopefully Claude's elegant jam will get them out of the stump, or the slump if you would say. Number 6 is Deslocado by NAPA, who are representing Portugal. This one, like I said, is a grower on me. I think it could pull off a good score in the contest, especially with its important message that could resonate with young people. Yeah, I would be thrilled to see NAPA advance. Kai is at number 5 for me. They're singing Bara Bada Bastu for Sweden. Very fun song. It has a lot of comedic elements to it, a lot of energy also. It could also help people relax in a way, which is ironic given its production. So let's see what Kai can do. Could they actually win? We'll just have to see. Ziferblat is at my number 4 with Bird of Prey. They are competing for Ukraine. Like always, Ukraine is coming in strong, and Bird of Prey is no exception. This song is very meaningful, very well constructed, very heart-wrenching too. I like the songwriting for this one, and hopefully they will continue their streak. No part of me doubts that they will, no part of me doubts that they won't. But yeah, Ukraine, is awesome. Alright, now for my top 3. For semifinal 1, I'm giving my 8 points to Espresso Macchiato by Tommy Cash, who was competing for Estonia. This one is just all sorts of silliness. I see people shitting on this one so much, but yeah, I think this one has a lot of fun to it. I think that he will be wowing the crowd in Basel with this song, so let's see if those dance moves can really pull something off. My 10 points are going to Red Sebastian for Strobe, who is competing for Belgium. The high note that he can project on that stage, wow, is just immaculate. And he knows how to set an environment too, especially with his signature color, red. So yeah, I don't doubt that I think he's gonna make the finals also. And then my 12 points, 12, are going to Shkodra Elektronike with Zjerm, who are representing Albania. This one is extremely artsy, it's very elegant, it's very classy, it's also like very hopeful too, like, it's also dark, but it also kind of presents some optimism here. Like, I am just in awe. Like, Besa was at a very low point on my list, but now Shkodra Elektronike are bringing their A game with Zjerm. Like, I am ready for some excellence with them. So, yeah, that is my list for semifinal 1. And if you guys have some interesting rankings as well, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Be sure to leave them there. Let's have a conversation about that. And with all that said, I think we are just about finished with my semifinal 1 video. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. I was trying out the new format today, and I think I pulled it off. I think I was able to make it work. Hopefully nothing felt out of order or felt a little awkward. I'm here to give you guys some quality content, and I wish for you to enjoy this video today. But yeah, that is where we are ending the video today, and once again, I hope you guys had fun. If you want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Blue Sky, my Twitch, and my TikTok. Links will be in the description. And that is where we are wrapping up today. My name is Gabriel Jones, and the sun may be setting, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. Take care.